When did you discover Fauvism?
It was a good few years ago, but it was from a guy that I worked with. He actually told me. He was like a bit older than me. He was like in his 40s. He's like, if I had a band, he's like, I'd name it Fauves, and I needed to find a name, and I was like, fuck you, it's mine. Quite bad actually. Don't know if I should admit it either, but fuck it.
Yeah, that's quite bad.
Blatant rip.
I'd kept that secret to quite honest.
So does it as an like
Cheers, Scott.
does it as an artistic movement influence you in any way? The kind of ideas behind it.
Definitely are.
Hard to deny, like colour as a vibe in
It's
general.
a big factor of the songs and the art and
Aye, for sure.
Defo's involved.
It's hard to deny it. It's definitely a big thing in what we do.
So were you already making music when you had that experience, and you kind of had that?
There was already a couple of tunes, and then wanted to upload them, and then it all kind of glued in as well. My gran had this plate, right, and it was like an IKEA plate, and it was painted, and that was the first ever artwork, was just that zoomed in on, and it was very like Fauvism. I was like, it's a sign.
That's fun. God, trying to tell me something.
God, for sure.
Do you ever actively look for inspiration?
In art or in...
In music more so when you're creating?
We'll
definitely.
Definitely reference stuff when we're doing bits and bobs, just like be cool if the sounded like this. Not like ripping off stuff, but like
taking influence from them.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's all music is really like, I don't know, rehashing things that, even if it's accidentally.
In your own way.
Exactly.
But it becomes something new as well.
Taking what you like and just putting a bit of yourself into it as well.
Do you think, in that sense, then the future of music will be like retro or futuristic? How do you feel it'll sound?
Music of right now? What do you
mean?
mean?
I mean, like music of the future. Do you think that'll sound retro futuristic then?
Definitely, but everyone keeps saying we're in the era of post genre.
Yeah.
And you definitely hear elements of like everything's quite, it's all a big soup at the minute. A lot of things that are coming out, you get some things that are throwbacky, but I think a lot of new artists are trying to merge big production with like old kind of classic songwriting, and I feel like 60s kind of brill building type songwriting is a big thing just now. The kind of, I don't know, Motown kind of beat and stuff like that. It's all quite big, and
Is that something you guys try and do? Lawyers and a bit more
subconscious thing as well, but definitely, aye.
Sure. Well, I mean, when it comes to what influences you now as well, how much of that is you being influenced, like kind of directly, individually, and how much of that is you influencing each other when you're in a room together, in terms of the music you're kind of making, and the songs and the construction of them?
See, I feel like I listen to more stuff that I want the music to sound like than I used to, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Like,
in what way?
I listened to a lot more R&B because stuff started sounding R&B like, and I was like, well,
same, to be fair,
I want to get more into this because stuff's going that route.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I was kind of the same.
Again. Not that I didn't listen to it before, but now it's like, listen to it a lot
it's just
more.
the direction it's going in.
You kind of get inspired by what you've made, and you're like, oh, it'd be nice to like expand on this idea.
Yeah, put your own touch on it as well.
On the subject,
for
sure.
Yeah, instead of just, because obviously you like what you like, but having a deep knowledge of something that isn't maybe your ballpark is something that needs to grow over a period of time. Rather, you don't just everything's not in your brain automatically. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got to do your research.
Aye,
for sure.
Definitely.
So I mean, in that sense, when you're listening to stuff now, like what you're saying with R&B, are you consciously kind of thinking of your own project in your head and kind of getting inspired from it in that way, or is can you still listen to music kind of pure?
Aye. Sometimes you just go bang. That's it.
Yeah.
This could be used in this way. Other times you're just listening and enjoying it, but so it's always like moments. I don't feel like it's like a constant.
Yeah,
it
just comes to you. So, this would be good.
Wee breakthroughs, and it's you get enough of those breakthroughs, and it becomes a thing. Do you know what I mean?
Do you remember the last time you had one of those breakthroughs and you got a real kind of moment of excitement inside yourself?
We were just listening to a Tears for Fears song, like about half an hour ago, after having played something on the sax with Matthew, and we were just like, that's really cool. We should like
add your own touch on it a wee bit.
You'd already kind of played the same
riff,
and then we're like,
oh, that sounds like that. What if we changed it like this, and then changed it from the Tears for Fears thing to, you know,
make it your own.
Aye.
It's already their own thing. Fuck Tears for Fears.
Aye, fuck Tears for Fears. That's right.
Is the excitement then that you feel when you're in a room together and having an experience like that different to the excitement you get once you're on your own and you're listening to R&B and something sparks? Is it different when you're with other people?
Yeah, for sure. Because if the Perrys are getting that, or the Threes are getting the buzz, it's like
Other people
instead
will
of
as well.
messaging someone like, here, I've got this great idea, and they're like, sound.
Yeah,
It's when it clicks. It's when it's
Enjoy.
with people, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
I think coming up with like the start of an idea is often on your own maybe, but then when it starts to accelerate is when you're kind of together, and it's like it all starts falling into place. But like the initial ideas for things it's kind of difficult to do that when you're in a group. I think kind of just have a start point almost. It needs to start and then it can accelerate once people start
getting involved and having their say and putting their bit down.
Does that excitement work its way into the music naturally, or is it something you've got to kind of consciously try and do?
I guess natural.
Definitely natural.
Yeah.
How do you ensure then that excitement you're feeling, is it possible to confuse that with what's right for the song? How do you kind of separate that so you've still got a clarity kind of moving forward with the song?
I think we're very hypercritical.
Yeah, we'll do like some bits will have like 3 different potential parts to play over whatever the section is. We'll just kind of end up
Trial and
back
error a wee
forth,
bit.
trial and error. But I never think about it in a, don't know. You just know it's right, don't you? It's
Yeah,
like,
you
this is
know.
gonna be it,
And
this is
sometimes
not
you're
gonna
like,
be it.
I don't know. And sometimes one of us will be like, you think it's right, and then the other person's like, I don't think it is, and you change it, and you realise, oh, it's actually better.
Yeah.
Or you end up punching each other in the face.
That's true.
But and normally we influence each other in good ways, I think.
For sure.
At what point do you start bringing like songwriting structure into the process? At what point does an idea that's just a spark start
I'd
to
say
take form?
instantly. When I've started like a verse or something, I already start thinking about what the pre-chorus, the chorus is going to be.
Sometimes you start writing like a verse part which turns into a chorus.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Because it just ends up catchier than the chorus you come up with. So
The
it's
first bit's the best bit.
First bit is quite often the best bit.
Yeah.
I like a verse to be like a chorus in that way. You're just like straight in. It's like,
This is cool.
how can it get catchier? And then sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. But sometimes it does.
Does the feeling you have for that idea change when the role it has in the song changes, or does it stay constant throughout?
Depends. Sometimes they come out. Certainly, some things you've done come out, and it's like that's it. That's the one. Other times it's
So
kind of like,
different by the time.
we know it's a bit fluid and we're not as precious. and we go, let's whip this out. And
bits apart.
sometimes you know, sometimes you're just like a bit more open to it.
In terms of structure as well, where each song sits in your body of work as a whole, I know that Bathe and Wither Away, they were originally going to be on an EP, and then that idea kind of got dropped, and then you finished the songs.
Yeah.
After you dropped that idea, how did that affect your approach and your kind of perspective on them moving forward when you were finishing them, when you took them out of the context of them being on an EP and just had them as individual songs, or an A-side and a B-side?
Yeah, I felt that they were quite different. So it was going to be with Blank Eyes and Floating Still, and I felt they were all quite...
They were not. That was not appropriate for an EP.
The same thing.
It's that way you get set in an idea of a release plan and all these kind of things, but when you're a DIY act, you can actually just scrap that, and that's what we ended up doing, which was probably for the best. Cause those two
really worked as an EP with it.
They kind of don't sound like us in a way, those two songs. They don't sound like anything we've made in a long time, but they also we liked them too much to just kind of shelve them. Do you know what I mean? I'm glad they're in the world. People seem to like them. So
that's always.
I mean, that's quite different as well, though. It feels like another song in that regard that's kind of doing its own thing and moving the sound forward in a different way.
I get you, but F kind of feels like us now, and a lot of people haven't heard all the songs that we've been making.
I know, that's true. We're
But
talking about what we're making lately, but it's like nobody knows what we're making lately.
It's nice that there's different kinds of songs though. It's like not different genres, but like a lot of different things that people can like get involved in, listen to.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agreed, man.
Different vibes, which is nice because people can,
I mean, what is the main driver for change in the music you're making, and what's driving that sound in that different direction, the direction that you're going with F?
Well, the thing is, because we're talking about R&B and stuff, a lot of these songs are written nearly 2 years ago. The songs that we're talking about that are out, the ones that are out and aren't out, that are coming out just now. but like, yeah, it's all. That's the thing with like making songs to the best of your ability. It takes quite a while, especially when you're wee guys who don't have like you're spending pocket money basically.
Pocket money.
That's what it is. So, yeah. So I don't know. It takes a while to get the process right. So, I guess what we're actually writing now is even different from the stuff that's going to be coming out.
On the other thing that's coming out.
Yeah. Aye.
It's interesting as well. You mentioned something earlier when it came to the EP and the way that you could kind of just let go of that plan and do something that felt right to you, and there's a freedom that comes from that.
Mm-hmm.
What is the most liberating part of being a DIY musician and having that freedom to do whatever you want?
Probably not being told you have to do things in a certain way by anyone, really.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, just do it with.
Because we are
please.
control freaks, 100%.
Aye, but-
And if it was like a,
Just
where
ask Jamie.
yeah,
The number of mixes that come.
I know we do his head in. We're not very nice to him sometimes. No, I'm glad we're not signed to a major label or something like that, because I don't know if we'd be able to do what we want to do. We believe in the kind of the vision. And
Well, you make your own at the end of it almost, and not.
yeah, we'd just be in a huff constantly if we're told what to do. I think we do. We hit
Grumpy
Reese
guys.
quite a lot. Yeah, grumpy boys. So
What's the record number of mixes you've gone through for a song?
probably about nine or
No,
10.
it was the Def not had like 15 or something.
F was less. No,
Labour
we
of
weren't
Love.
happy until about mix 4, and
What
then
was
we.
Bathe then? Bathe
Bathe
was up there.
Bathe was up about 10, aye. Maybe more. Aye, quite a lot. Like a dissertation worth of mix notes. Like, and then there's always one point where you change your mind and you go back the way. So that's why it's kind of
In fact, just undo that.
just undo that, but then add this bit and it'll work. So it's fine.
I mean, Bathe's an interesting one because you're playing like a lot of kind of shiny, sparkly, twinkly textures in that one. Do you have a certain ballpark of sounds when you're working on a song like that, so that it still sounds cohesive as well as kind of having that kind of scope to it?
Not really, but Bathe was an accident. Like
Total accident.
we imported all the, so we recorded Bathe previously with Lewis, and he'd sent us all the stems to the tracks, but they were all like different lengths, and they all imported at the same start point. That kind of made this mad noise that kind of
I think it was sax.
It was just like sax and guitars all
sax,
playing
keys, and
over
guitars, and they were just
all
like
at a time and
so different tempos and everything. We were just like, put a bit of verb on that.
and it'll fucking sound
Yeah.
cool.
What does that sound like in reverse? And then basically we got what we got. So
So a happy accident.
aye.
Have you ever had the opposite of that where you've accidentally deleted everything?
Yes,
Oh,
we done
we've
that
done
now.
it twice in the past 2 weeks.
Deleting whole new songs and then I don't want to talk about it. Traumatic, man.
What's that bad? It's just my computer's just it's just not.
Piece of shite.
Cantankerous old bastard.
I know. He's been
Doesn't wanna
he's been
cooperate
upgrading.
anymore.
He's a wee bit better now, but he deleted like 5 hours worth of work the other day, and it was a disaster.
You could honestly cry
We're all
at that
green.
point.
We're all crying.
And then midway through things, you try to put ideas down, and he just
He just starts
starts
spitting at you.
starts farting,
Aye,
and you're like,
literally.
calm
Come
down,
on.
mate. Just relax. He's a bit cheeky boy, isn't
He's
he?
a cheeky computer, man.
Can you ever get back to that, like where the mix was at after those 5 hours? Is that song gone? And
No, because I'm a fud and don't click save. It's my
We-
fault, really.
well-
I'm blaming the computer, but it's all me.
We remade one of the songs, and it's got more bits to it now, but
Yeah.
You lose some of the ideas from the start,
like
don't you?
like the vocal takes and things like that.
Yeah,
like
it's not the
sometimes you
same.
don't get the same vibe again,
You
and
just
it's like,
forget it.
Because you're trying to rush it, because you're like, we need to get back to where we were.
yeah,
previously.
you're literally battering through it. So,
Yeah.
but
How
yeah,
does listening to that new mix then, or that kind of recreated version, have a different feeling? The feeling you get from that when you listen to the original one, is it quite different, or are you kind of getting in a similar space?
still the same
I
song.
feel like now that we've revisited what the idea was, it's definitely back to better than what it
Probably
was.
is better, yeah,
Better for sure.
but just slightly different. And you're just like,
Yeah.
what could have been, you know?
We've spoken
Sure we'll
quite a
get
lot,
there.
like about your musical identity as a band and your kind of sound and things like that. But on a personal level, how much of a role does music kind of have in shaping your own identity as an individual?
Pretty huge, man. It's
Yeah.
quite pathetic actually
Yeah,
how much
so-
a role it plays. It's like it's literally sound, bro. Calm
That's all
down.
I've got left.
But there's not much else going right now.
I
is
know
there?
that, isn't it, man?
Uh,
Come here, go home, go to work. come
yeah,
here.
exactly. So this is it. This
It's the one.
is my church.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.